Welcome back to the channel JF Coin everyone to another exciting episode about the hidden treasures that might just be sitting inside your pocket change right now. Today, we are diving deep into the world of one of the most fascinating and valuable coins from the United States Mint, the 1977 D Ultra Lincoln Penny. Yes, that's right, a 1-cent coin, a simple penny, that could be worth hundreds of dollars, and in some special conditions, even up to $442 or more in today's collector market. Stay with me till the end because you'll be shocked to learn why this little coin from Denver has become one of the most searched and desired Lincoln cents among collectors worldwide. Let's begin the journey by going back in time to the year 1977. It was a period when the United States was experiencing major changes, new designs, growing inflation, and the continuation of the famous Lincoln Penny series that began way back in 1909. By 1977, the Lincoln cent had already earned its place in American history. It featured the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner, a timeless image that has remained on our cents for more than a century. Now, what makes the 1977 D penny so special? To start, the letter D under the date stands for the Denver Mint, one of the primary minting facilities of the United States. The Denver Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents that year, around 4.2 billion coins to be exact. But out of those billions, there are rare varieties, special strikes, and ultra-quality examples that stand out from the rest, and that's where the real money lies. Many collectors don't realize that even though billions were minted, not every coin is identical. Minting errors, planchet flaws, doubling of the design, and high-grade conditions can make a coin's value skyrocket. For example, a standard circulated 1977 D penny might just be worth 1 cent, maybe a few cents to collectors if it's in decent shape. But the ultra-high-quality specimens, those that have survived in pristine condition, graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC at grades like MS67 or higher, can easily reach values around $442 or even more, depending on market demand. Now imagine finding one of those in your coin jar, sitting unnoticed for years, a tiny copper coin hiding a big surprise. That's why collectors across the world are rechecking their penny rolls and pocket change, because the 1977 D Ultra Lincoln Penny is a perfect example of how condition and rarity can turn a simple cent into a small fortune. But let's go deeper into the coin's background and design. On the front, or obverse, you have the famous bust of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word liberty to his left and the motto, "In God We Trust," across the top. Below, you'll find the date 1977 followed by the D mint mark. The reverse side carries the beautiful design of the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo, with the inscription, "United States of America," at the top, "E pluribus unum," just above the memorial, and 1 cent at the bottom. The 1977 D penny was struck from a bronze alloy made up of 95% copper and 5% zinc, a composition that gives it that warm reddish tone loved by collectors. This was one of the last years before the US Mint switched to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. That alone gives the 1977 D penny more collector appeal. It's from the final generation of solid copper cents. But beyond composition, collectors look for the smallest details, things like strong strike quality, clean surfaces, and vibrant red luster. These are the features that make a coin ultra, meaning exceptionally well-preserved and visually stunning. A 1977 D penny graded MS67 red, with full brilliance and no noticeable flaws, can bring prices as high as $442, sometimes even more if two serious collectors battle it out at auction. Now let's talk about varieties and errors. Some 1977 D pennies show interesting minting mistakes like double die obverse or reverse, repunched mint marks, and even off-center strikes. These rare variations can turn a common penny into a prize worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. For example, a strong double die on the date or Liberty lettering can raise its value significantly. Always check your pennies under good light or with a magnifying glass, because one small doubling or misprint could mean a major payday. Another fascinating aspect about the 1977 D Lincoln penny is its place in coin collecting history. During the late 1970s, coin collecting was booming in America. Families were saving their change, hunting for rare mint marks, and the Lincoln series became the heart of U.S. coin collections. The Denver Mint coins, especially those from 1970 through 1979, became highly collectible due to their sharp strikes and occasional die varieties. The 1977 D stands as one of the highlights of that era. But how does a penny's value reach over $400? The answer lies in grading and rarity. When a coin is professionally graded by PCGS or NGC, it receives a numerical score usually from 1 to 70 based on its condition. Coins graded between MS66 and MS67 are considered superb, and those with vibrant red color are designated as red or RD, which boosts their value even more. A perfect MS67 RD 1977 D Lincoln penny is incredibly rare. That's why collectors are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for one. And remember, this market isn't just for professional collectors. Everyday people are discovering these treasures too. There are countless stories of lucky finders who discovered a valuable penny in their change jar, or while sorting through old family coin collections. One such 1977 D penny, graded MS67 red, sold at auction for more than $440, sparking new excitement among collectors and hobbyists worldwide. So what can you do? Start by examining your 1977 D pennies carefully. Look at the color. Is it bright red or dull brown? Check for any doubling, repunched mint marks, or errors. If you find a near-perfect one, consider getting it graded by a reputable company. And even if it's not perfect, hang on to it because copper pennies from this era are becoming harder to find in top condition as time goes on. The best part of coin collecting is that you never know what you might find next. That's the thrill, the mystery, the chase. Each penny tells a story. Each coin has passed through countless hands, through decades of American history, and now it could end up in yours, worth hundreds of dollars if you know what to look for. So next time you see a 1977 D Lincoln penny in your change, don't pass it by. Take a moment, flip it over, admire the design, check its shine and details. Because what looks like an ordinary cent could actually be an extraordinary treasure, a piece of American history worth hundreds of dollars, maybe even more in the future. And as the market continues to evolve, rare Lincoln cents like the 1977 D Ultra Lincoln penny will always hold strong collector demand. Prices have already reached $442 and could climb higher as high-grade coins become scarcer over time. So keep hunting, keep learning, and never underestimate the value of a simple penny. Because in the world of coin collecting, 1 cent can make all the difference. If you enjoyed this video and love learning about rare coins, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss out on the next hidden treasure from your pocket change. Thanks for watching, and may your next penny hunt bring you the luck of finding that rare 1977 D Ultra Lincoln worth hundreds of dollars. Would you like me to make this version sound even more dramatic and storytelling based, like a discovery adventure for your YouTube channel, with pauses and emotion cues for narration? That can boost watch time and engagement. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in U.S. history, the 1982 Lincoln penny, a coin that may look ordinary but could actually be worth hundreds of dollars, even up to $442 or more, depending on its type, condition, and rarity. So make sure you watch this video till the very end, because you might just discover that you already have a small treasure sitting inside your old coin jar or wallet. Let's begin the journey into the story, secrets, and true value of the 1982 Ultra Lincoln penny, one of the most talked about 1-cent coins in America. The year 1982 was one of the most important years in the history of the U.S. penny. For over 170 years, American 1-cent coins were made primarily out of copper. But in 1982, something huge happened. Due to the rising price of copper in the early 1980s, the United States Mint decided that it was time for a big change. The cost of producing a single copper penny had actually become more expensive than 1 cent itself. That's right. Making a penny was costing more than a penny, so the U.S. Mint made a critical decision. They changed the penny's composition from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a new composition of 97.5% zinc with only a thin copper plating on the outside. This major shift was meant to save millions of dollars for the government, but it also created one of the most confusing and collectible years in penny history, the year 1982. Because the transition didn't happen all at once, both copper pennies and zinc pennies were made in the same year. And to make things even more interesting, there were multiple variations of the 1982 penny produced across different U.S. mints. Now here's where things get even more exciting. In total, there are 7 main varieties of the 1982 Lincoln cent. That's right, 7 different versions of the same year's penny. These include 1982 copper large date, 1982 copper small date, 1982 D copper large date, 1982 D zinc large date, 1982 zinc large date, 1982 zinc small date, 1982 D zinc small date. And to make it even more mysterious, there's one ultra rare coin that collectors dream of finding, the 1982 D small date copper penny. This coin is considered a legendary minting error because it was never supposed to exist. In other words, this combination of features wasn't officially approved for production, yet somehow a few managed to slip through the mint's quality checks and enter circulation. Let's talk about how to tell the difference between these coins, because if you ever find one, you'll want to know exactly which type it is. First, you can identify whether your penny is copper or zinc by doing a simple weighing test. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams. A zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. If you have a scale that measures to 1/100th of a gram, this is the easiest and most reliable method. That small difference in weight could mean the difference between having a regular penny worth 1 cent and a coin worth hundreds of dollars. Next, you need to look closely at the date on the penny, the 1982. Notice how the shape and thickness of the numbers differ between the large date and small date varieties. On the large date, the numbers look thicker and more rounded, while on the small date, the numbers are thinner, and the top of the 8 is more even with the 9 and the 2. This small detail can make a huge difference in the coin's value. Now, let's talk about values and market prices, because this is where things get really exciting for collectors and treasure hunters alike. Common 1982 zinc or copper pennies in circulated condition might only be worth a few cents, but certain types in high grades can be worth dozens or even hundreds of dollars. For example, a 1982 D small date copper penny, if you were lucky enough to find one, could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. In fact, one of these coins sold at auction for over $18,000 a few years ago. That's right. A single penny sold for thousands of dollars. But even the more common varieties in mint condition or graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC can fetch impressive amounts. Some 1982 large date or small date Lincoln cents have been sold for $442 or more if they are in pristine uncirculated condition, especially if they have perfect luster, no scratches, and a sharp strike. The market for 1982 pennies remains strong because collectors love the mystery and complexity of this transition year. Every collector wants to have all 7 varieties in their collection, and of course, the ultra-rare 1982 D small date copper is the holy grail that everyone dreams of finding. Imagine checking your old penny collection or your coin jar at home and realizing that one of those brown coins is actually worth hundreds of dollars. It's happened before, and it could happen to anyone. So the next time you come across a 1982 penny, don't ignore it. Check the date carefully, weigh it if you can, and look closely at every detail. You might just uncover a hidden piece of history worth much more than 1 cent. Now let's briefly look at the design and symbolism of the Lincoln cent itself. On the front side, known as the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The design has remained largely unchanged for over a century, symbolizing honesty, strength, and the enduring legacy of one of America's greatest presidents. On the reverse side of the 1982 penny, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely, you can even see a tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, an incredible detail that shows just how precise and artistic this coin truly is. The 1982 Lincoln penny represents more than just a small piece of change. It marks a turning point in American coinage history, the moment when the U.S. Mint had to balance tradition, economics, and practicality. It's a symbol of how even something as small as a 1-cent coin can reflect the bigger story of a nation's growth and challenges. So, coin lovers, the next time you get some change back from a store, don't rush to spend it. Look closely at those pennies, especially the ones from 1982. Weigh them, inspect the date style, and check for mint marks like the letter D for Denver or P for Philadelphia. You might just find the ultra-rare 1982 D copper small date penny, the one that could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Remember, treasure doesn't always come in gold or silver. Sometimes, it's hiding in the smallest coin, a simple 1-cent piece that tells a story of change, history, and hidden value. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the history and value of the 1982 Ultra Lincoln penny, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another update on rare and valuable coins that could be sitting in your own collection. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, always check your change, because one day, your penny could be worth $442 or even more. Stay curious, stay passionate, and happy collecting. Would you like me to make a shorter, more energetic version of this script for YouTube narration, 2 to 3 minutes? Or keep expanding it with detailed storytelling and collector tips for a 10-minute video? Today's video is going to absolutely blow your mind, because we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising modern coins in American history, the 2004 D Lincoln penny. You might think a 2004 penny is just another common cent that's barely worth a penny, but wait until you hear how some of these can be worth hundreds of dollars, even up to $442 in today's collector market. Yes, you heard that right. A simple, shiny, 1-cent piece minted in 2004 at the Denver Mint could actually be a small fortune if it has the right details, minting errors, and pristine condition. So stick around till the very end, because we're going to uncover everything about this incredible penny, from its historical background, design story, special minting secrets, and the hidden reasons why collectors are going crazy for certain versions of this coin today. History and background of the 2004 D Lincoln penny. Let's begin with the story behind this coin. The 2004 D Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced way back in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this iconic coin became a permanent symbol of American history, pride, and freedom. The portrait of Lincoln on the front has remained almost unchanged for over a century, making it one of the most recognized coins ever made. By the year 2004, the Lincoln cent had already seen many small changes, from its composition to minor design adjustments. But it still carried that same proud image of Lincoln facing right, with the famous word Liberty beside him and the date below. The small D mint mark on this coin indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the major mints of the United States. What's interesting about 2004 is that it came during a period when the U.S. Mint was experimenting with coins striking quality and material consistency. Even though these pennies were mass-produced, certain striking errors, planchet issues, and double-die varieties slipped through, and that's exactly what turns a regular penny into a collector's dream. Design details. What makes it special? Take a close look at a 2004 D penny. The obverse, or front, features the famous image of Abraham Lincoln designed by Brenner, along with the inscriptions "I in God We Trust," Liberty, and the year 2004 with that tiny D mint mark just below. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. What makes this design fascinating is that if you look very closely, right in the center of the memorial between the columns, you can actually see a tiny outline of the statue of Abraham Lincoln sitting inside. It's one of those little hidden details that many people never notice. Now here's the thing. When the Denver Mint struck these coins, some of them came out with incredibly sharp detail and bright, mirror-like surfaces that collectors refer to as ultra strikes or ultra Lincoln pennies. These are rare, beautiful, and command high prices in the market. rare varieties and minting errors. The money makers. Now let's talk about where the money really lies. The rare varieties and minting errors that make certain 2004D Lincoln pennies worth hundreds of dollars. Some 2004D pennies were struck with what collectors call a double die obverse, meaning the die that stamped the coin shifted slightly between strikes. This creates a visible doubling effect on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date 2004. If you see any doubling on your penny under magnification, you might be holding a jackpot coin. Another rare variety is the off-center strike, where part of the coin's design is missing because it wasn't properly centered when struck. Depending on how much of the design is off-center, this can easily make the coin worth between $50 and over $400 to the right collector. Then there are broad-struck and clipped planchet errors, where the metal blank was either stretched too far or accidentally cut incorrectly during minting. These can also be extremely valuable, especially in uncirculated condition. Collectors also pay attention to the condition of the coin. A 2004D Lincoln penny graded MS68 or higher by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can easily fetch over $442, especially if it shows a brilliant red luster and no signs of handling. Market value and why collectors pay so much. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay so much money for a penny from 2004? Well, the answer lies in rarity, quality, and collector demand. While billions of pennies are minted every year, only a tiny fraction of them remain in pristine, untouched condition. Those that do, especially with mint errors, become extremely desirable among serious numismatists. As of today, the coin market for Lincoln cents is thriving. People are rediscovering the joy of collecting, and the value of high-grade modern coins has skyrocketed. A 2004D penny with top-tier grading and strong eye appeal can easily sell between $100 and $442, depending on its condition and error type. Even lightly circulated coins can be worth several dollars if they have visible doubling or a striking anomaly. So before you toss that penny into a jar, take a closer look. That 1-cent piece could be a hidden gem waiting to surprise you. How to check if you have a rare one? If you want to check whether your 2004D Lincoln penny is valuable, here's what to do. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date for any signs of doubling or distortion. Check for off-center designs, missing edges, or clipped areas. Look at the overall shine and color. A bright, original red tone is a good sign. Avoid cleaning your coin, because that can destroy its value. Consider getting it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC if it looks exceptional. Closing section. Engaging and inspirational. The 2004D Lincoln penny might seem ordinary at first glance, but within it lies a small piece of American history and a chance for unexpected treasure. Every coin tells a story, of craftsmanship, of history, and of the people who made and used it. Some of these tiny copper-plated zinc coins have traveled through thousands of hands before finding their way into the collections of enthusiasts and experts who truly appreciate their hidden beauty. So next time you receive change at a store, don't overlook that shiny little penny. Take a moment to inspect it. You never know when you might be holding something rare, something that collectors dream about, and something that could turn a single cent into a few $100s. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2004D Lincoln penny, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss another hidden treasure from your pocket change. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and every collector can discover one worth more than gold. Would you like me to make this script more dramatic and story-like, with emotional storytelling and mystery build-up, perfect for YouTube voiceover? I can expand it even further to sound like a professional documentary. Today we're diving deep into one of the most surprising modern coins in United States history, the 2016 Ultra Lincoln penny. Yes, that shiny little 1-cent coin sitting in your pocket or change jar could actually be worth up to $442 or even more if you know what to look for. So, get ready because this is not just a story about a penny. It's the story of how a single cent became a collector's dream. Let's start from the beginning. The Lincoln penny has been a symbol of American history for more than a century. It was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, the man who shaped the nation and stood for freedom and unity. Over the years, this little coin has carried not only his portrait but also the pride of American minting. The 2016 penny continues that legacy, yet there's something very special about certain 2016 coins that has made collectors and experts around the world go crazy. In 2016, the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents across 3 major locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. On the surface, they all look the same, featuring Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse. But here's where things get interesting. Some 2016 pennies were struck with unique die variations, minting errors, and ultra-sharp proof details that make them stand out dramatically from ordinary coins. And those rare versions, often called the 2016 Ultra Lincoln pennies, have been fetching astonishing prices in the coin market, some selling for $442, and in special cases, even higher. Now, you might be wondering what makes these pennies so valuable. The secret lies in their condition, rarity, and the tiny differences that only trained eyes can spot. For example, collectors look for pennies that have a mirror-like finish, deep cameo details, and absolutely no scratches or circulation marks. These are known as ultra or proof strike pennies, often minted in limited quantities for collectors rather than for everyday use. The 2016 S-proof Lincoln penny, made in San Francisco, is one such coin. When perfectly preserved in a PCGS or NGC certified holder, with a grade like PR70 deep cameo, it can command prices up to $442 or more on the collector's market. But it doesn't stop there. Some 2016 pennies also have error varieties, and these are where things get really exciting. Imagine finding a coin with a doubled die, a misaligned strike, or a missing mint mark. Even a slight off-center strike or die clash can skyrocket the value of a coin from 1 cent to hundreds of dollars. In some cases, error 2016 pennies have sold on auction websites like eBay or heritage auctions for impressive sums because collectors absolutely love the combination of modern minting precision mixed with rare production mistakes. Let's talk about the design for a moment. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, one of the most recognized portraits in U.S. coinage history. It's powerful, elegant, and timeless. On the reverse side, introduced in 2010, is the Union Shield design with 13 vertical stripes representing the original states joined under one banner. It's a symbol of unity and strength, and in the 2016 penny, the sharpness of that shield can sometimes be extraordinary, especially on those ultra-proof versions that shine like mirrors. Many coin collectors admire the 2016 Lincoln penny because it represents the modern precision of minting while still honoring the classic American legacy. So how do you know if your 2016 penny might be worth money? Here are some key things to check. First, look for the mint mark under the date. A small S means it came from the San Francisco Mint, and if it looks extra shiny or reflective, it might be a proof coin. A D means Denver Mint, and no mint mark usually means it came from Philadelphia. Now, use a magnifying glass and look closely at the details. Check for doubling on the date, letters, or Lincoln's eye. Look for die chips, cracks, or any unusual shapes in the shield or lettering. Even a slight variation can make a huge difference in value. And don't forget condition. That's the golden rule in coin collecting. A coin graded as MS or PR70, meaning it's in perfect mint state or proof condition, can sell for hundreds of dollars. If your coin has no scratches, no discoloration, and still looks brand new, it could easily attract the attention of serious collectors or grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Some 2016 pennies sold for $442 because they were not just shiny, they were flawless, true ultra gems straight from mint sets. But the value of coins isn't just about money. Every penny tells a story, the story of craftsmanship, history, and American pride. The 2016 Lincoln penny continues a tradition that began more than a century ago, and it shows how even the smallest coin can capture the heart of collectors and historians alike. It reminds us that treasures don't always come in gold or silver, Sometimes they come in copper, hiding in your pocket or coin jar, waiting to be discovered. Now, imagine the excitement of finding one of these ultra-rare 2016 Lincoln pennies in your everyday change. You pick it up, it glimmers just a little differently, you take a closer look, and there it is, a tiny piece of history worth hundreds of dollars. That's the magic of coin collecting. It's the thrill of discovery, the connection to the past, and the surprise that even the smallest cent can carry incredible value. So, the next time you get change back from a store, don't just toss your pennies aside. Take a moment to look closely, especially at your 2016 pennies. Who knows, you might be holding one of those ultra-rare treasures worth $442 or even more. Keep your eyes open, keep collecting, and keep exploring the incredible world of US coins. You never know what valuable history might be hiding right in your pocket. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story and value of the 2016 Ultra Lincoln penny, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss more videos about rare coins that could be worth a fortune. Every week we uncover more hidden treasures, forgotten minting secrets, and real stories of people who found small coins that changed their lives. So stay tuned. Your next penny might just be your next big find. Would you like me to make a version of this script optimized for narration style, with pacing and tone directions for your voiceover, for example, when to pause or emphasize? It can make the videos sound even more professional and engaging.